One life ends, another begins. Some films go by in the blink of an eye, the snap of a finger. The mere passage of time is oh so brief that we sit there watching the credits roll and we think to ourselves, what a wonderful world. We also think, well, that's unfair. I just sat down in my local cinema with a snack and a drink, ready to absorb every aspect into my pores, into my very soul, this sci-fi epic, the likes of which we have never seen. So we want to re-experience that time and time again. We get the best television, the best sound system. We get it on Blu-ray. We get it on 4K. We just do everything we can to capture the moment where we knew that we had seen something truly goddamn special. Some films also seemingly last a lifetime or two, such as the case with Avatar that came out in 2009. That was written and directed by James Cameron. Yes, the man that did Terminator, Terminator 2, and also did Aliens, and is a really visually impressive filmmaker and a very talented filmmaker. I don't know what the fuck people see in Avatar. I really fucking don't. I'm just getting this out of the way right now. I have seen Avatar 4 times. I'm rewatching it along with seeing the second one because I'm going to go watch the third one in theaters. I'm going to see if something can just grab me because I have tried to see what people see in Avatar and I fucking can't. There's just aspects of Ferngully, the Smurfs, Dances with Wolves, Pocahontas, whatever the fuck. And apparently this actually had quite a bit of thought put into it. It just didn't play out on screen besides the visual effects. The visual effects are very fucking pretty. They also kind of look like really done World of Warcraft cutscenes, in all honesty. But it's a talented cast. Sam Worthington, who, by the way, is a very good actor, even a capable actor if the material isn't all that great. He can't be a lead, or at least he couldn't be a lead here. Clash and Wrath of the Titans movies prove that, but also you have to give him proper material. Zoe Saldana is in this before she decided to kind of torpedo her goodwill with how she dealt with the Amelia Perez backlash. And we also have Sigourney Weaver, who is 50 at this time, remarkably. And we also have Stephen Lang, who is a hell of a goddamn villain. And I don't mean just this. He's a hell of a villain in a lot of movies. He has a perfect face to be a villain. We have Michelle Rodriguez. We have Giovanni Ribisi. We have CCH Pounder damn near killed her. Scott Lawrence. Joel David Moore. And a bunch of very, very long torsoed Smurf people that play natives of the planet Pandora that basically want to protect their materials. But we as humans must go there and take this unobtainium, because that's the kind of creative stuff we're coming up with here. This material that is going to basically fix our dying planet, or we're just going to use it for monetary gain. This is a 2-hour and 42-minute movie, and there's a fairly decent hour and 50-minute movie in this. And James Cameron just decided to stretch everything out. I fully recognize this movie is supposed to be made for entertainment purposes. But the key word there is entertainment. None of this movie is entertaining. There's no emotional depth or, way to absorb yourself in these characters. It looks fancy, but it's hollow. It's really fucking hollow. And I have no problem saying that. And if any Avatar fans get upset, I don't fucking care. I really don't, because you can like it all you damn well want. This thing cost $237 million, has a $77 million opening, $785.2 million in the US and Canada, and $2.9 billion worldwide. Now, some of that might have come from re-releases, but still, $2.9 billion. So what the fuck do I know? Evidently, I'm just, one of the outliers that just didn't care for this movie. I didn't like it at first, but I thought, maybe I'm being unfair. And I have tried. Again, I have tried. But it just isn't good. Like, Sam Worthington as Jake, he's a paraplegic. He is a Marine. He gets a chance to take over his brother's work and get put into a Navi, whatever, Avatar, and be part of a research team along with Grace and a couple of others. Actually, one other. And essentially, this is a way to earn the trust of the Na'vi people and also get these materials. Now, we're thrust right into this goddamn thing, but then they just stretch it out where it's like Jake, falls for Nateri, played by Zoe. And yeah, you might find this a little bit absorbing. If you do, that's fine. I just fail to see how any of this works. I'm sorry, it just does not click at all. It just ends up being an agonizingly stretched out flick where I'm going to talk about a few things in this, but I'm not going to get into a long, detailed dissertation on this. I'm going to talk about stuff I liked and stuff I didn't like, and most of the stuff I didn't like. So we have Dreams of Flying, not Fears of Flying, because Vitamin C was no longer producing songs. Well, she was no longer making songs at this point, but she was producing music. And Jake's basically talking about, well, I had dreams of flying, I was free, but sooner or later, gotta wake up. Yeah, people have to wake up and realize that this movie isn't good. Again, I will be watching the sequel at some point. I've seen clips of the sequel. I've never actually seen the full second one because this one was agonizing enough, and you could skip through 30 to 40% of this movie and not miss shit. Unless you want to see the pretty visuals, which you could see in video games and you could play to your heart's content and also stop them. You could stop video games or, at least, press X to pay respects. So, yeah, Jake lost his brother. It would be troubling. And we see a mech suit. We see a dozer payloader. Stephen Lang being the villain in this Quartic. Whatever. Jake taking over Tommy's avatar. Tommy, can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? This gray matter, this unobtainium, 20 million a kilo, because I guess we measure things in kilos in the U.S. now, since everybody's pretty much routinely American in this. And, this is dangerous once Jake gets into the Avatar. This is great because he's able to walk and run around, and that would be kind of cool, especially getting hurt in the line of duty and that kind of stuff. And had they bothered to dive into any of that stuff, you might have cared. But the visuals are all this movie is. And that can carry you, but that can't carry you throughout in your 3-hour movie, at least in my personal opinion. So we see the Pandora animals or creatures, and things go really tits up, and maybe it wasn't a good idea to send a bunch of humans to a distant planet full of hostile creatures and a native race ill-prepared. Maybe we shouldn't have sent them at all, but it is what it is. So we have the Pandora War Machine, the Rhino, and the Jurassic Park dinosaur screams. By the way, the language was created by Dr. Paul R. Frommer, who actually did create the Na'vi language. And look, that's kind of cool that Cameron wanted to create his own language. Nothing wrong with that. The thing is, though, this movie has the emotional depth and the narrative depth of a teaspoon of water. But it's nice that they put that effort in there. Jake ends up being, getting separated from Grace and crew because he's an idiot and ill-prepared for this. And he ends up being saved by Nateri. And, oh, you're like a baby, which she says like 5 times. And I think twice might have sufficed, but this is stretching stuff out. And then he goes to the Na'vi people. And this, the queen, the head, the wife, head of this whole thing. There are characters in this I do not fucking care. I don't know why anybody would expect, these characters really matter. They all look the fucking same. But anyway, I will look at this alien. That's how my cat looks at me. Ewa is their deity. It's like Mother Earth, essentially, connecting everybody. There's weird trees, weird stuff going on. And then you must bond with this weird dragon called the Urkin, or the Ikron, the whatever now. So yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta fly around. This is about an hour into the fucking movie, and I'm skipping over quite a bit of stuff. So, essentially, we see him ingratiate himself into the Navi people's, mindset and culture. And part of this is because Stephen Lang's character offers to get his legs back. You got no legs, Jack Sully. Or Jake Sully. Jack Sully would be better. I'm going to call him Jack Sully from now on. So Jake Sully basically is doing this for his own gain, but finds that he's falling for Neytiri. And then basically we see the bonding with the dragon. Somebody on Letterboxd referred that as hair sex. I died laughing. And yeah, you make the bond to have your own dragon to fly around. And this planet seems really ill-conceived for traveling, because there's branches connecting these floating islands and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just seems like I would rather just sit around and not do any of this stuff, but I digress. So there is the Tree of Voices. Randy Orton then hit an RKO on both of them. As hilarious as that would have been, it didn't happen. And you can choose a wife. Obviously, he chooses her. Meanwhile, the military people, Giovanni Ribisi's character, is trying to basically say, hey, they're all savages. We need to kill them and take their shit. We need to blow up this tree, this giant great tree thing. It's like the mana tree that got cut down in Secret of Mana, which is a deep cut for video game fans that nobody will honestly get unless you're old like me. So, Jake shows up, or Jake basically warns them of their impending doom, the Sky People, but they can also fly, so I don't know why they're called Sky People. Whatever, it's fine. And then they all get disconnected because they are sabotaging the mission by trying to save the Navi people. So then it's a corporate takeover. Trudy, Michelle Rodriguez's character, is like the only one that kind of thinks that maybe this is the wrong kind of mission, but goes along with some of it. And what they basically are doing, the military is taking over, trying to blow up this tree, which they succeed in doing. And then the Queen character frees the trapped Jake, the Jake Sully, as well as Grace and a couple others. If you are with us, or if you are one of us, help us. So, if a tree falls in the Pandora Forest and everybody's around, how many people scream? Evidently, everybody. One of the people is dead. I think the main king. I don't fucking care. None of this matters. None of these characters, again, have any depth. I'm sorry. I mean, it's terrible because it's an allegory for what settlers did with the Native Americans. The thing is that's a lot more horrifying than any of the shit happening here. So, Neytiri is upset and basically tells him to leave. So, they now must basically get out of there, take their stuff to a remote outpost so they can connect on the grid, but kind of off the grid, and so they can be back in their avatars. Grace gets shot, because that's what we fucking need, and Sigourney Weaver seemingly dies. It would be kind of hilarious. I can't remember if Sigourney Weaver actually comes back in the second one or not. I don't necessarily give a shit, but it is what it is. But since she got shot, they were trying to bond her with the tree, the mother tree, the Awa, or whatever the fuck it is. And that doesn't quite work. At least it doesn't work at first. And Neytiri basically says, after he tries to get the people to fight, I see you. I understand I was afraid, but not anymore. I'm afraid that we're going to get more of these movies. James Cameron, by the way, is about 80 million years old. So I don't think we're getting more than one other Avatar movie. Because I don't know if the third one's going to make as much as this, but it's going to make enough money to justify a fourth one. But he apparently wants to make 6. I'm not going to live long enough to see 6 goddamn movies. I'm not going to be reviewing them, by the way. I'm just reviewing stuff to get to a certain view goal and then ease back because I'm getting old myself. I felt like I had a couple birthdays during this goddamn movie. So he brings the people together, gets the other tribes to help out. More on the tribes in the second movie and the third movie. Fire and Ass, I think is what it is. I'd call it that in the title, but I'd probably get in trouble. And they are basically they're going to use the mountains and the resources and that kind of stuff to fight back. So ask Awa for help. Awa, call in, we won't go home. So they get on their space dragons, fire arrows, and Michelle Rodriguez, her character gets either shot down or just goes away or whatever. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Stuff blows up, things occur, people die, Na'vi die, humans die. Bingo bango, space Pocahontas battle. Mech suits, explosions. Lang is on fire at one point. And Lang basically tries to break into the chambers. I'm sorry, if you expect detailed coverage of these action scenes, why? Why? If you've seen the movie, you know how they occur. It's just all this stuff is just white noise, or blue noise, as it were. And he damages Jake's chamber, Jake Sully, that is, and then Neytiri comes back from under this one creature that was the violent one in the beginning, or in the first 30 minutes, or however fucking long this fiasco is. Again, a good, or at least a decent hour and 50-minute movie, stretched the fuck out almost an hour longer. So she hits Lang with a couple arrows that apparently have a neurotoxin in them, so he's dead. And she gets Jake's body. He's like, I see you. God, I wish I wasn't seeing any more of this shit. Wish they did make a second one, but I knew they were going to. And the humans go home, or sent home, basically by the natives, except for a few that they can trust. And then Jake is bonded to his avatar, and there we go. And that leads us to Avatar 2 that will be done eventually. Probably in about a week or two, because I need some time to process the fact that I almost wasted another 3 hours of my life watching this, rewatching this as it were. But yeah, I don't really care if Avatar fans get upset by this, because my, hatred, or just at least disdain towards this movie, shouldn't push away your love towards it. You can love this movie all you want. It's just not a deep narrative or anything good. So, yeah, Avatar isn't any good, and I don't really care who knows it. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Until we go back to Pandora again, God help me, happy trails to you.